Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to just welcome everyone for coming today and attending Navigating Wisconsin Business Resources. I want to let you know who we are and what we are doing today. My name is Hannah McKeever, and I am the Community Development Educator with UW Madison Extension in Vernon County. Our panel of speakers are here today to support your food business, whether you are already up and running or still in the ideation phase. We are fortunate to hear about resources from the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection, also known as DATCP, the Food Finance Institute, also known as FFI, Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education, or SARE, Wisconsin SCORE, Madison Public Library, and the Network for Health, Technology, and Innovation. And the acronym for that is NHTI. So I will let each of the speakers introduce themselves and when it comes time for them. So today's free webinar for food entrepreneurs and is for food entrepreneurs and farm-based food businesses is brought to you by the Food Entrepreneurship Ecosystem Development, or FEED initiative for short. And it's part of the UW-Madison Extension Community Food Systems Program. We're a statewide extension program that fosters equitable, resilient, and sustainable community food system development through research, evaluation, project-based partnerships, and programming like this. FEED has two major projects. These online webinar series for food and farming businesses that happened in the late winter, and then a 2-day summit for food and farming businesses in the fall that is called Feed Summit. So stay tuned for dates to be announced for that soon. Lastly, I'd like to make a quick plug to complete our short session evaluation survey. It helps to keep programs like this low cost and improve future programming. Please see the link in the chat that Lauren just posted for you. I'll now turn it over to our guests to share information about navigating Wisconsin's business resources.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Charlie Bloom, and I work for the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection. I am a licensing specialist, so on a day-to-day basis, I help folks and prospective business owners, industry staff, agents to kind of work through the rules and regulations for starting a new food business. I work with retail and recreational facilities, dairy, and manufactured foods, so a pretty large gambit. My experience comes from doing inspections both at the retail recreational level with a local health department, and then moving to the state of Wisconsin where I did manufactured food inspections for several years in the city of Milwaukee. And then at this point, I received this job being that licensing specialist role. So uh, our mission is to partner with citizens of Wisconsin to grow the economy by promoting quality food, healthy plants and animals, sound use of land and re water resources in a fair marketplace. One of the things we also talk about, and when I do presentations, is the mission and vision of both the Division of Food and Recreational Safety and of our larger bureau, or department rather. So one of the things we always talk about is fair and efficient. So that's one of the ideas I'd like to stress in these couple of minutes I have to describe what we do. But we're showing the rules and regulations in a fair and efficient manner so that we can help all folks answer questions, answer phone calls, emails, presentations, whatever it may be that you need to start that food business. We're here to help and support, which kind of moves into the next phase of that. But really, we serve all citizens in the state of Wisconsin, and we want to provide those resources. One of the things that we will end our conversation with is a follow-up email, or, if you don't have access to email, we'll mail out materials. So we're really trying to get you the information in the easiest way or the most beneficial way that you need that. So I work for the Division of Food Recreational Safety. I'm based out of the Milwaukee area, but really we have division team members across the whole state of Wisconsin. So that's something I want to stress. When it comes to talking to folks about any sort of regulation, what we really want to do is provide the expertise in written, email, phone, or presentation methods. I've done a few of those presentations with, for example, Feed and UW Extension, and going to whether it be a farmer market manager conference, or if it's one of the webinars, just to talk about those resources. So I really can't stress enough. Please give us a call. Please leave a voicemail. As you can see on the screen, that is my team. So there's three of us on this team that we do answer. Those are our work cell phone numbers that you can go ahead and call. Otherwise, if you call that main line, go ahead and leave a voicemail with your name, your number, and maybe a brief description of what you're looking to do, or you can email us. We also have some really good resources on the website that I believe is being shared in the chat on this Zoom. I encourage you to look at our forward-facing site. We may not have everything, the applications, but that's because one of our jobs is to talk to prospective business owners and make sure that they are getting the right information. We'd hate for you to fill out, wrong application, look at the wrong regulation, and then move forward in that vein. We want to have a discussion and then send that appropriate response and the informational email so that you are starting down that right track right away and having that application in hand or whatever resources you would need in hand to start that business. With that, I just wanted to make sure that you see the links in the chat. And if you have questions, please reach out to myself or a member of my team. We're more than happy to help you out.
And we can keep questions till the end if everyone wants to work through, or we can take them as they come too. So just let everyone know that. We'll go ahead with Jackie.
Myself unmuted there. Great. Yeah. And if there were any questions for Charlie, I'm happy to pause. Didn't mean to jump the gun on advancing that slide. But otherwise, hello, I'm Jackie Lally. I serve as Outreach and Content Coordinator at the Food Finance Institute, or FFI. And at FFI, I lead our efforts to promote and develop finance forward training, coaching, and consulting for food and farm businesses. That's who we serve. Previously, I owned a marketing and communications agency serving nonprofits, businesses, and government partnerships. And I will tell you a little bit about the Food Finance Institute. So at FFI, we envision a world where resilient food and farm businesses anchor vibrant communities and a thriving planet. And our mission is to help food and farm businesses thrive at really every stage. We specialize in finance forward training, coaching, and consulting. And I think you'll get a good sense of what that means when I get into some of the specific things that we're offering for you to help you out on the next slide. But before we get there, I want to make sure we can go back to the second slide a second. Sorry about that. To for you to be able to tell if we are a good fit for you, if you think that we could help you. I think it helps to know who we serve. And we really serve businesses that work in any type of food related niche, everything from consumer packaged goods good brands, so food brands that are making a consumer packaged good, to value added agriculture, farmers, people making beverages, food hubs, and also food systems nonprofits. We work in that area as well. We also work to help food manufacturers and people doing technology in the food and farm fields. We also serve people that are at every stage of business development, and we have programs that are specific to what the kinds of challenges you're facing and questions you might have from the point where you might have an idea for a food business all the way through to you've been in business 10 or more years and are looking to access financing. So bringing it back to really, we focus on financing, helping food and farm businesses access it, get ready to access it, whether it's equity, loans, grants, or other types of financing. And so we do have programs that serve clients nationally, but we have a strong focus being a part of the Universities of Wisconsin Office of Business and Entrepreneurship, we have a very strong focus here in Wisconsin. So let's take a look at some of the specific programs we have to offer on the next slide. So there's a lot here. Right now, we have some special programs that I want to emphasize. To start with, the Fellows program is our 6-month program where we have cohorts, and we provide free training, consulting, and guidance to those food and farm businesses in developing a financing strategy that's really unique to your business to help you grow and scale. And all the things, all of the essential functions of food and farm business that you need to be able to get there. So everything from marketing, accounting, all the way through to some of the more finance specific capacities. So that's for 6 months. You're in good hands with people who have tons of experience in this area, both with their own businesses and helping other food and farm business people succeed. So that's a 6-month program. It's totally free. Um, um, and we have a large number. Some of those slots are for national people nationally. But there's a large number of slots that we make a point of filling here in Wisconsin. There's you'll see a bunch of short links here. All of the links are also in the document. I know I only have, I think I've got my clock running 20 more seconds. So you'll see here that we have a food finance learning center. That's the third thing down. You can get online training there, live or on demand. Some of it is free. There's some that are paid offerings as well. So definitely check that out. Naturally Wisconsin is our new a new chapter of the Naturally Network, and that is there to strengthen the sector and help you network with others. We have a food finance forum and expo coming up September 18th in Madison, and other initiatives on our website. And then I'll end with that second thing you see there is really special. We don't do that very often. It's a free session on financial foundations for farms. We have those running in March and April. Typically, those are paid offerings, but we have some grant funding to offer those right now. So I would really encourage you to check those out if you're a farm or doing value-added agriculture. And thanks so much. I hope that we hear from you. You can see our contact information there. Just come through the email address, and we will get right back to you.
Thanks, Jackie. Are there any questions for Jackie at this time? Okay, we'll move on to Diane.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Diane Meyerfeld, and I'm with Extension, and I'm the Sustainable Agriculture Outreach Specialist. And I help farmers learn a lot about sustainable agriculture techniques and resources, including particularly grants from this U.S. Department of Agriculture program that I'm going to mostly talk about today. We refer to the program as SARE. SARE stands for Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education. It supports research and education to advance sustainable agriculture across the United States. It is, however, very much managed on a regional basis. So there are 4 regions in the U.S., and Wisconsin is part of the North Central region. And that's 12 states that basically runs from North Dakota to Ohio. And that many of the decisions about grants and information sources are made by what's called an administrative council. So it's very much kind of, despite being a federal program, it has a lot of grassroots influence because that administrative council includes farmers, representatives of agricultural business, nonprofit representatives, land-grant university representatives, and then some agency representatives. And the vision of North Central SARE is that it strengthens communities, increases producers' economic viability, and improves the environment through grants and education. So let's dive into some of the things that SARE has available. I'm going to talk first about their information resources. And here I have here depicted just two books. Because SARE looks at all of agriculture, a lot of its work is focused on production questions. How can you, improve soil health through your specific management decisions on your farm? But SARE does recognize that the business side of farming is incredibly important as well. And so here on the right, you see Building a Sustainable Business, which is a workbook that was created in part through SARE grants that walks farm businesses through a very comprehensive process of developing a specific enterprise and specifically looking often at value-added enterprises or different ways of marketing or other parts of the business aspect of farming. All of SARE's resources are available on the SARE website for free as PDFs. But you can also order a print copy of this publication, but there is a small fee for that. And then on the left, you see another SARE resource that's focused very much on the business side of farming, which is a resource that was put together again in part based on a SARE grant that walks farmers through deciding what kind of business structure would make the most sense for their farm. This is just the tiniest tip of the iceberg of the resources SARE has available. In fact, probably the biggest problem is when you go on the SARE website, there are so many things there that you can get a little overwhelmed. So, use the search function to narrow in on what you want. But the other thing that people are very interested in is grant programs, and SARE has six. The North Central region has 6 different grant programs. Specifically, there's a program that is for farmers, so you have to be a farmer to apply to that. And again, the grants are for research or education, but research could include research on a business question. So it could, examples have included research on the effectiveness of different marketing efforts, testing out or researching different approaches to marketing, from direct marketing things to working with co-ops to other efforts in that area. If you are interested in applying for a SARE grant, I would say always check out the grants that have already been awarded. That can give you a good idea of what people have done. So one of the things SARE does, and that's also going to be in those links, is it makes every grant that has ever been awarded available on their website. Not the grant application, but the progress reports. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that. There, right now, as you all are no doubt aware, federal grant programs there's a little bit of uncertainty surrounding that. So everything I say today about the SARE grants comes with a little bit of a caveat that we're waiting to get confirmation that it will be okay to go ahead and offer these grants as they have been offered every year for more than 20 years, actually going on, going on more than 30 years. Also, the final thing I just want to mention is that there are many other grant programs that are available to farmers, and you'll hear more about some of them from one of our speakers today. But we have some basic information about some of those other grant programs available on the website, again, with the resources that will be shared with you. So with that, I will let the next person go.
Thank you, Diane. Are there any questions for Diane? Kola, you are up.
Hello and good afternoon. My name is Kola, as you have in Coca-Cola, the soda, so it's easy to remember. My last name is Alarde. I am the chair for SCORE, Southeast Wisconsin, and what is background? I'm a business owner. I've been an academic. I lectured at some of the universities in Milwaukee. I run my own businesses. I run a chamber of commerce, so I have my hands in so many things around the place. The joke is people jokingly tell me I'm a hustler. I'm always getting things done. So I'm strongly in support of entrepreneurship because I believe they need as much help as I can give to fellow entrepreneurs is always important to me. For me, what is SCORE? SCORE is a 60-year-old organization that started in October of 1964. Right now, we have helped over the years, we've helped about 11 million entrepreneurs either start or grow their business or expand or even exit their businesses. I think one of the most impactful things for me was when I got somebody who came on board as my mentee who was asking for how he can retire from his business that he thought he didn't imagine he could be that successful with his IT business where he's making millions of dollars from it. And now he's thinking of how can I get out of this? So we help people from when you have an idea, from your idea stage to any level of the business. In Southeast Wisconsin, we have about 91 members that are mentors. Southeast Wisconsin alone. And in the state of Wisconsin, we have about 4 regions. So for those of you in Madison, we have a Madison section, a region in Madison, and people in the UP area, we have a section that, caters to them. So we primarily are a group of volunteers who come together under the umbrella of SCORE to provide mentoring and advisory services. So we're not paid. SCORE doesn't charge for our time. If you, as a business owner, signs up for SCORE to get a mentor, you will be assigned to somebody typically based on your zip code because of convenience, because just in case you want to meet with a person outside of, even though we've gotten used to using Zoom and all the technology and what have you, sometimes you want to meet with them in person. So they use your zip code to assign somebody that has similar skills as what you're seeking. And once you get a mentor, the mentor can actually expand to where you have 5 or 6 people supporting your business. And why do we have this? I'm not the best person so let's say you're assigned to me as a mentor because you wanted to learn about how to build your business from scratch. Okay, fine, I can advise on that. But then as we speak and as we build the relationship and I mentor you, you may want you may need some help in branding, marketing, social media, AI. We have specialists in those areas. And then I'll bring them in, or your mentor will bring them in as co-mentors who would guide you in those areas to help enhance your business. According to data, the average clients that we assist that participates just 3 times in a mentoring session has an 80% success rate. Just 3 times of participating. Because again, you get personalized attention. And in case I forgot to mention, this is all free, Free, no cost to you. So many people look at us as in, you guys are crazy. Are you serious that you're doing this at no cost? Yes, because we care, because your success is our success. We can boast about how successful you are because we were able to be of service to you. So it sounds odd, but that's what we are. So again, SCORE's primary purpose of existence is to offer mentoring to clients across the nation. We help small businesses. We have one of the most extensive and most useful website. If you go to the website and you go in there, there's just about just think of any document you could need for your business. We have it on our SCORE website. And so there's I don't know. Sometimes I get too excited because I feel like, what else could I have asked than an opportunity where I can be of service to my fellow business people, be able to help them with growing their business. And I'm not the only one. I'm a newbie, actually. I'm a newbie in the SCORE world. I just had a meeting earlier with one of the people in my team who's been at it for 25 years. And he loves doing this. So please, as you can see, we have free resources. We provide trainings, webinars, seminars. Some of them are hybrid because we try to make sure that we can accommodate the people who are far away and those who are close by. So we have most of our trainings to be, hybrids. On a few rare occasions, you might have some trainings that might incur a cost like up to, a minimal cost like $20 something on very, very few occasions. What I've been, as the chair of my region, one of the things I've been aggressively doing is working with corporations to sponsor some of the seminars to make sure that our clients don't have to pay anything. That's the ultimate goal, is to make sure you don't pay anything. So again, we have a ton, as you can see on the slide, and I know James would have shared that with you as well. There are links where you can get all the templates that you can need for your business. But again, before you start using the templates, I'll recommend get a mentor who can guide you so you can utilize, because again, you're getting it for free, so it costs you nothing to get them. The bottom link there shows you how to find a mentor. When you when you go in there and you put your zip code, let them know the zip code you're in, let them know what exactly you're looking for, where you need help, which area of your business in the sector that you're in that you need help in, so they can pair you up with somebody that can help you grow your business. Our mission is your success. That's all we care about, is for you to be successful. So that's the little blob about SCORE. Mine, I think I have the easiest job of explaining what SCORE is because I love it, so I'm excited. Thank you for the opportunity, and if there's any questions, please feel free to ask.
Thank you, Kola.
Thank you.
And the chat should be available too. So if you want to post a question in there, I will be pulling questions. So if you're not ready to ask one yet, just know that you can put it in the chat and I will pull those at the end and pose those to the panel. So I think we will move to our next speaker, Martin.
Hi, Martin or Martin Alvarado. I am the Community Engagement Librarian for Business and Technology at Madison Public Library, and I feel like I'm representing all the librarians, especially the business librarians throughout the state, because I think public libraries, mine is just an example of what you might be able to find in your communities. I have a definite geographic range, which is a South Central library system, and I'm trying to just quickly say, if you are in Adams, Columbia, Dane, Greene, Portage, Sauk, or Wood County, like you are part of the system, and I'm your resource librarian for business questions and technology questions. But I encourage you, if you're not in the area, I have great colleagues that I know of in Milwaukee that I work closely with, referring folks over there. I am less familiar with the rest of the state, but you are covered wherever you are in Wisconsin by a public library system consortium. I'm also a fan of free, and I'm also a fan of SCORE because one of my functions I feel like is being a connector in the ecosystem of entrepreneurship. So if I know that there's a resource or something I can't cover, I will refer people to other institutions like SCORE or WIBIC or other places that support entrepreneurs. So I'm a connector. Librarians are your best friends in terms of trying to figure out what your next step or where to go. We might not have the whole answer, but we might show you a path or an alternative. And so one of the other things, for example, that has come up in my practice is you need a commercial kitchen to be able to distribute food products. And you can work with a librarian to see, are there incubators in your area that can help you be in that place with a certification to do that sort of a thing. Um, Madison Public Library has been around for 150 years. I've been working there for about 25 years almost, and the past 7 years as the business and technology librarian. We're opening a new location in 2026. Very excited. And in general, I work with people who are in the ideation or already working in some of the business training programs, business support programs. So I've mentioned what area I have that I serve. Um, but yeah, one of the things that you can find at your local library a lot of times is sort of like a meeting room where you can meet with clients or advisors. You can also take advantage of free wireless, free internet, copying, faxing. Those are standard things public libraries offer around the state. And then more specifically, my function is to train people in some of the different databases that we have, but also I like to really leverage what is available on the open web in terms of marketing and demographics data. One of the fun things about being a librarian now, and I took my master's in librarianship a few years ago, so way past my undergrad years, is that now you learn a lot of data science if you have that inclination along with the library IT. So what I've really tried to do is take information from the census, from reference solutions and see like, okay, we have all these statistics, we have all this data, like how can we put it together so that it can inform what you're doing or also inform how you write your business plan so that you can make the case more in a data-driven way as to why you should be funded or also just get a sense as to, okay, a lot of things are uncertain in the business world, but how can knowing more about particular things in my industry, competitors, or business to business aspects how to maximize the use of that information to reduce a little bit of the uncertainty and also to always be testing your assumptions. Just because you see something in the data, you have to test it against reality to see if it really is a thing. And I think just having that mindset is a very useful one of, okay, I'm in a business. I'm just going to try to learn. I'm going to try to find more clients that are similar to the clients that are already in. So just having that mindset of trying to figure out sort of like the background between the more profound questions. But yeah, on a very practical level, um, libraries have a lot of good business databases. One that I really like is reference solutions, where you can use standard industrial classification and North American industrial classification system codes, or even just keywords to pull in information on whole sectors defined by geographic area on a particular type of business. So if you have a product that you can sell to a supermarket, you can see, are there independent supermarkets here, for example, or are I am producing this, who else is in this space, and get that. You could get that through a lot of Googling, but this gives you a really great snapshot with amount of work that is so minimum compared to what just going on the open web would be. Also, libraries have business plans handbooks, and that's one of the things is that you don't have to reinvent the wheel, and a lot of times seeing how other people have approached different issues in business plans, that can be one of the great things that you can really look at for just checking your assumptions, and maybe if you're stuck, it gives you a little bit of seeing how someone else looked at that problem. And then one of the things that I really, really like is looking at data and seeing what we can do. Sometimes there's not going to be an exact statistic that really reflects one thing that you're looking for, but you can look for a proxy that might represent um, the demographic or the aspect of business that you're wanting to figure out more to be better acquainted with. So, again, I also help people connect with other free business resources in our area, and I can be contacted at malvarado@madisonpubliclibrary.org or at 608-266-6350. But I'm often doing outreach or doing other things, so I'm not at my desk sometimes like for a couple days. So just be warned that email is the best way of getting a hold of me. And also, if you're not in my service area in those counties that I mentioned, just reach out uh, to your business librarian or just in general, librarians are there to help you to really answer your questions and just help connect you with the next step of what you need to do. And I think that's about my time.
Thank you, Martin. I do believe there is one question for you. And I think this is from Ingrid. She's wanting to know who would be her contact for Rock County, if you're able to provide that.
like a librarian, I will research
Yes.
it right away and put it in the chat.
Perfect. Thank you. We can go on to our next. Grace.
Hi, everyone. My name is Grace Poots. I'm an agriculture program specialist working for the Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection, or DATCP. Same as Charlie, who spoke first, but we're in different divisions, so we actually do not know each other. But I am primarily responsible for running the Resilient Food Systems Infrastructure Grant Program. This was one-time funding that came out of the American Rescue Plan Act, so part of COVID relief funding, but Wisconsin was awarded the second most of any state or territory at $27 million. And grants have already been awarded. And this, like I said, was one-time funding, though it is part of my job to ensure that this $27 million is not just an investment in the businesses, tribes, organizations, nonprofits who were awarded grants, but that it's an investment in our state's supply chain. Middle of the food supply chain is really what this funding was targeted to expand and improve. And so barring any crazy changes with the federal government, I will be working for the department on this program until 2027. And I'm also here to talk about some of the other incredible work that my colleagues do in the Division of Ag Development. I've listed out a couple of the programs here. Alice in Dairyland, Something Special from Wisconsin, which is a trademark marketing program for Wisconsin food and farm businesses, the Farmer Wellness Helpline, and then we have our International Agribusiness Center, which helps food and farm businesses become export ready, among many other things. We run the Specialty Crop Block Grant, which is another USDA federal grant program that's administered by each of the states, the Local Food Purchase Assistance Program, and then several state-funded reoccurring funding opportunities, such as the Buy Local, Buy Wisconsin program. Simply put, our mission in the Division of Agricultural Development is to support the growth and success of local, regional, and international food systems through business, farm, and rural development programs and services. And like I kind of already mentioned, I primarily serve food and farm businesses operating in the middle of the food supply chain, which is kind of the processing, packaging, storing, aggregating, distributing of locally grown and primarily value-added product. But serving businesses in a wide range of development stages, and also those who are not involved in my grant program, but kind of involved in that part of the supply chain as well. But our division more broadly is here to serve all of the people of Wisconsin that touch our state's ag industry in one way or another. DATCP is headquartered in Madison, but there are offices all over the state. I think Charlie mentioned that he is based in Milwaukee. Our staff in the Division of Ag Development are always traveling. We're going on trade missions abroad to countries everywhere to identify export opportunities for Wisconsin's agricultural companies and producers and products, attending and presenting at conferences, and then visiting grantees or stakeholder businesses and farms across the state as well. I did want to highlight that starting this month, I will be writing a monthly newsletter in collaboration with my colleagues in the, we call it the Economic Development and Innovation Center, which is kind of like a sub-center within the division. But hopefully the link will be put in the chat for that. And monthly newsletter that will highlight funding opportunities, various free resources, events, and then also kind of spotlight some of the incredible work that food and farm businesses across the state are involved in. You can reach me at any time. Please feel free to call me or email me at the contact information that's listed. If I don't have the answer to your question, I am more than happy to assist in connecting you with the person or organization that can help you. And then I listed some other numbers as well and emails. And those are real people on the other end of those phone numbers and emails. I think some people are sometimes hesitant to call. a number that they find on a government agency website, but I can assure you that my colleagues are fabulous at what they do, and they're here to help you and your business grow and succeed. And there are many other resources and programs outside of what I've mentioned. But I wanted to highlight the Wisconsin Farm Center outside of that farmer wellness helpline. They offer financial consultation, transition planning, mediation and arbitration, and veteran farmer assistance, and more. So they're more farmer oriented than food business oriented, but they have a whole host of programs and resources. And yeah, if there's not a number or email on here that seems relevant to your need, like I said, feel free to reach out to me at any time, and I would be more than happy to chat with you about the kind of support that you're looking for and connect you to the person or place that might be able to help you. So thank you.
Thank you, Grace. Let's see, are there any questions for Grace at this time? Okay, then we will move on to our final speaker, Giovanni.
There you guys are. Hey, howdy guys. My name's Giovanni Alaman Sotelo, and I am competing with Martin for the longest name. Not sure who won. But so I am here representing the Network for Health Technology and Innovation. And so this is a nonprofit that dedicates itself to doing good for our entrepreneurs, and so far I have a really great track record of working with entrepreneurs in the Madison space. We've worked with over 100 businesses. Predominantly, what we are here to do is to equip entrepreneurs with tools and education so that they can succeed. And our program is really inclusive. We try to really identify the need in people with like lower socioeconomic opportunities, and a lot of them are women-led, BIPOC, and LGBTQ communities. It's a little bit on my organization. Hold on here, I'm learning how to use the slides. Um, and okay, so that is who do we serve? And so I would also add that we work with companies in all stages. And so I think that being an entrepreneur is one of the most difficult things that you can do for a living. And that's because you got to understand so many areas of focus. And so we work with anybody from the ideation phase. So Cola talked a little bit about this process, ideation phase, and then you're like in business, you're going to market. So we work with both of those, and we also don't really have a preference in working with somebody who is doing business locally and has a lifestyle company, and or if you are a startup with a potential national TAM, then we also want to talk to you. And so, if you know anybody or are one of these folks, like, please feel free to share this resource with them, um, and share our information, which is in the coming slide. Oh, sorry, there's actually so we predominantly work in the Dane County area. However, really excited to share that we are transitioning into a hybrid model this session and eventually working towards becoming fully virtual. And so we're implementing an LMS, learning management system, that will allow us to curate a program and have it be available for anybody within the state, anywhere in the state, or and then, the goal is to be able to offer these resources nationwide, or really wherever somebody can get a hold of internet and a computer. Okay, I pressed the button to go to the next slide and it didn't do it, so here we go. Okay, so the resource is free, and we thank our sponsors and our grants for sponsoring us. This is a starting out at a $4,000 value for some of the sessions that we hold. They're anywhere from like 4 weeks to 11 weeks. They meet twice a week. We offer a lot of community engagement as well and hands-on resources, including one-off template workshops. And so most recently we did one on how to create a video business card. And so we use the power of uh, CapCut to put that together. And so, we're really excited to just work with anybody who's looking to engage in entrepreneurial development. I've added our information down here. I would also shamelessly advertise our project work night that we do in collaboration and at 100 State Co-working. So if you live in Madison, they are located right downtown, right by the square, and it's really a great facility for entrepreneurs, specifically solopreneurs who need a space to just do office work, take meetings. And if anybody has any questions or would like to learn more, feel free to reach out to me. My email is on screen, and we also have some um, information online if you'd like to visit that. If anybody has any questions, I'd love to answer that.
So I believe there's one in the chat for you. The question is, do we have to come to Madison for your services?
So currently, yes, we are doing virtual sessions. And so, or I'm sorry, we're doing a lot of in-person sessions. Our cohorts run during the spring season and the fall season. This spring season, we are actually kickstarting on this Tuesday. We do have some workshops that you can be a part of. They're all in person for coming sessions. So maybe the fall of 25, we'll likely do more virtual and LMS style training. So for those, definitely stay tuned. And so you won't have to come in person to take advantage of the resources.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm not seeing any others. If you do have them, go ahead and put them in. Thanks, Giovanni.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
So just thank you so much, everyone, and for the wonderful presentation. And let's give our panelists a round of applause. So, okay, well, if nobody's going to do it, there you go. Okay, so what questions do you guys have for our business resource providers? The other thing is I do have a list of some that we're floating through. So if nobody wants to unmute, I can go through some of the ones that were posed in the chat for right now. That way everybody has a chance to kind of hear what our panelists have answered. So the first one was, do any of you deal with cottage laws?
Yes. So I think I put the link in the chat, but what we are looking at, so Wisconsin doesn't have a cottage law necessarily. We have the current judge's ruling, which is the ability to do home baked goods that are non-TCS, and non-TCS means time temperature controlled food. So that is something where like shelf stability plays an aspect of it. The most common example I give is a piece of cheesecake versus a chocolate chip cookie in terms of what you can and cannot do underneath that. And so if you look at that site, it also talks about how we define not potentially hazardous food and links out to our state statute about talking about pH, and in this case, it would more than likely be water activity and talking about those resources. And then if you need help with any of that, you can give a call or an email, and I'm happy to help it out. In general, it is the operator's responsibility to tell us why that is a safe product or falls underneath that in regards to testing. Does that help answer the question?
I think so, yeah. Thank you for the great information, Charlie. The next question was for Diane in the chat. Do you offer support on how to write SARE grants that are more likely to get funded?
Yes, so thanks for that question. We do in Wisconsin, we actually get together with a couple of other grant programs and offer a webinar in the fall on that covers in the first part general concepts for writing a grant, and then gives tips for some of the specific grant programs in the second part of the webinar. And you can access a recording of the webinar on the website that was linked. In addition, as the state contact, as the Wisconsin contact for the SARE program, if you have an idea for a grant, you are welcome to contact me. Email's probably best. And then I can follow up with your idea and we can discuss it. And I can give you feedback based on what I know about the SARE program, about how to tweak it to make it fit what SARE is looking for. Grant programs are always a little bit of a uncertain thing. It depends not only on how good a proposal you write, but on what other proposals come in. So sometimes when you don't get funded, that doesn't mean it wasn't a good proposal. It might just mean that they were overwhelmed with other proposals, and for whatever reason, your proposal, either there were a lot of other similar proposals or something like that. There's also the Michael Fields Agricultural Institute offers a service where they provide grants advising to farmers. But yes, so that's kind of the starting point. The other tip I would do is say, take a look at the SARE project database, which is on their website. And again, that link was provided in the chat. And, search for your general topic area and kind of see what other things have been funded. If you write the exact same grant, that probably won't be funded. But building on previous SARE work works really well. If you have a grant idea and you see that someone else did something similar, if you explain how what you're doing is different, and it might even just be that someone did something similar in a different region and you want to test it out in Wisconsin, and there's reasons to believe it might work differently in Wisconsin. I hope that's helpful.
Thank you very much, Diane. The next one I have was for Cola in the chat, and it says there are so many options for what kind of mentoring we are looking for. Is there a way to just get general support versus specific? And Cola, I know you answered it in the chat, but for those that maybe didn't get a chance to read it, if you want to go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, and so Cola, unfortunately, another meeting he had to step away from, but
Okay.
I'll make sure to put his contact info again here in the chat so you all can reach out to him if you have any more questions.
Perfect. Thank you, James. And then I think that was all of them. Let's see. Okay, so I have another one that just came through in the chat that says, I have a business idea. However, we would probably do business in 1 to 2 other counties. How would I search for help with starting the ideation for all of that?
Going to say probably look at examples of what you have, like do research, and I know it's cliche, but there's also really good publicly available resources. I know here in Madison, and I'm not entirely sure how long their scope is, but we have the Law and Entrepreneurship Clinic that could let you look at some of the aspects at what sort of a structure you might want to have, or doing business as aspects, or any number of different things. So there are plenty of good resources where at least you can exhaust your questions and have experts who look at this day in and day out, kind of like sort of maybe give you guidelines or limits, maybe not so much the ideation, but just maybe put like, okay, these are kind of like the things that you're going to run against, or here are the best practices. Here's something that seem simple right now, but might get complicated in the future. So I think that's also the role of people in SCORE and other business advice organizations is to really allow their expertise to really inform what you're trying to do. Because I think it just saves you so much at the end if you get good advice from the beginning.
Thank you, Martin. And James did put the link to the Law and Entrepreneurship Clinic in the chat for those that would like to grab that out of there. Did anyone else have anything to weigh in on that question?
I'm not sure what exactly the questioner means by starting the ideation, but again, the SARE business planning resource I referred to, and I assume there are similar strategic planning resources to that. Certainly for a farm-related business, that's a good starting point for ideation. And it's, as I said, it's pretty comprehensive. So it starts with advice like sitting down with all the other people that would be involved in the process and figure out how your idea aligns with or can align with their goals. So it really starts broadly and then narrows down.
So I am not sure where or when you're starting this or what counties you're a part of at the moment. However, if you're going to be around in the same situation later in the year during the fall, and if you can join us, whether it be virtually or in person, we actually kick off our program learning the thinking design process and the MVP model, so minimal viable product. And so we stress the system of like ideating with your team and or by yourself and figuring out what minimal viable product would be for your product so that you can allocate your resources accordingly and uh, get some good feedback for future iterations. So I just and if anything, maybe doing some research around those two terms may get you off to a good start.
Okay, thank you. I think James, one of the last questions actually probably is for you. With the sessions being recorded, there was a question about where they would be posted to and if they would be accessible to attendees today.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. We will be posting all recordings of the webinar onto both our YouTube channel and our Community Food Systems feed webinar page. It's going to take just a few weeks here for us to get that processed and online. So please bear with us for the slight delay. And I will make sure that everyone who's signed up for all these webinars will get a notification when those do go onto YouTube and our website. So thank you so much for that
I have a
question.
quick thing for Lisa. So another route to do this is looking at trade journals. There may not be one that's specifically about your exact idea that you have there, but there might be coverage in specialized media about different experiences about that. And sometimes that can be a way of really wrapping your head around how people have been approaching it, if they share, if they've had any difficulties. And a lot of times you can give access to these business article databases either through your local library. I know here in Madison, Granger Hall, which has a lot of really great specialized databases, accepts walk-ins from the public, and that's the UW-Madison School of Business. So I would think check in with your local institutions because they might have an open door that lets you allow to use in the building the resources that would be available to the rest of the students. But they have a lot of times as a general member of the public, you can walk in and get the services, but I do encourage you to check out and seeing, are there any articles about this particular idea that I'm having? Because that might help you at least wrap your head around, or it may, yeah, give you more things to pursue or lines of inquiry.
Okay, and then one last question. There was a question about if the slides will be posted as well, along with any of the resources for today. So James, I'll let you take that one as well.
Yeah, thanks. I really want to give space to everyone else that's talking here, but I will let y'all know that we'll do a follow-up email that will have some copies of the slides available on our website and all the information also that was shared today as far as the links and anything that was added to the chat will be shared with everyone in a follow-up email as well. Thanks for the questions.
Are there any final questions, keeping with the time, for our panelists? If none, I just want to thank you again, everyone, for sharing this wonderful information with us today. Do remember, please, to complete our short program evaluation survey. It will help to keep programs like this at no cost and improve future programming. So the next feed webinar series is scheduled for next week on Monday, March 10th at 2 p.m. on how business cooperatives can help entrepreneurs access farmland. Thanks again for joining us today and have a wonderful day.